The fog of war overwhelms the jungle in darkness, giving those with light an advantage on the rift. Placing wards in the jungle will illuminate the darkest corners of the rift and give the jungler's allies the information they need to survive. On his journey, the jungler must shine beacons of light on the rift or risk the lives of his team and himself. This is vision. Vision is a key part of your success as a jungler. Knowledge of the enemy jungler or rotating laners can save your teammates' lives. Vision can also mean whether you can safely gank a lane or take an enemy tower or dragon for free. There are many tools that the jungler has at his disposal in order to win the fight in the Vision War. These tools can include wards, trinkets, sightstone, and even jungle camps. At the beginning of the game, a jungler should always start with a yellow trinket. Being able to have a free ward early on will allow him to have knowledge of the enemy jungler's position or help the jungler defend himself and his camps at the beginning of the game. Monster camps don't spawn until 1 minute and 55 seconds into the game, so use your time wisely by placing wards to gain information about the position of the enemy jungler. As soon as you are released from spawn, if your ally team is grouped with you, you can go into the enemy's jungle and place a ward between his blue and Gromp. This will allow you to have vision of these camps, letting you know where the enemy jungler starts so you can predict what his route will be. You can also place a ward in the bush covering the crossroads to Krugs and red buff on the other side for the same effect. Choose which side to ward depending on which one is closest to your starting point of your jungle route. Using this information to your advantage, you can plan a variety of early plays such as counter ganking, ganking on the opposite side of the map, or invading his jungle. If you don't want to risk invading to place an early ward, or you wish to play more defensively, place your ward in the bush on the opposite side of the red buff pit so you can have vision of any invaders that try to enter your jungle. You can easily place the ward in the bush from inside the red buff pit so you do not have to waste time traveling to place it. After clearing red, you can proceed to raptors, where your ward will continue to give you vision to protect you as you clear the camp. While clearing your red or blue buff, it will be a good idea to kite the monsters inside the bush closest to the camp. Once the monster has been lured inside of the bush, any enemies looking to steal the buff will not have vision of you until they decide to go inside the bush. This will help prevent them from ganking or stealing your precious buff, and also give you more time to see them coming and react. Another way a jungler can make use of vision is by using the jungle camps themselves and the buffs they provide. For instance, a jungler can look to clear the Rift Scuttler to get early vision of the river. Look to take this for extra vision if you expect the jungler to gank through the river. Also, make sure to take the crab about 60 seconds before the nearby objective spawns. The vision will deter enemies from starting the objective, and the movement speed will help in fights if your team is already in position. Smiting the Crimson Raptor will grant you a ward detection buff. You should use this buff often if you have an extra smite available and want to gank a lane or prepare an objective. Smiting the Merkwolf will summon a spirit that grants sight over the nearby crossroads for the next 95 seconds. Get this buff in your own jungle if you are being aggressively invaded by the enemy near the blue buff. On the other hand, if you are ahead, smite the enemy wolves to keep the enemy out of their blue buff jungle. When you go back to base for the first time as a jungler, you may have some extra gold. Use that extra gold to buy additional wards to place so you can increase the amount of vision your team has. It is important as a jungler to purchase a pink ward whenever you don't have one placed. Since pink wards don't go away until they are destroyed, they are very useful to give your team vision for a long period of time. Pink wards will be beneficial for you to place in bushes where the enemy team will usually ward. After you have earned enough money for a jungle upgrade, pink ward, and a couple of potions, it's time to switch out your yellow trinket and get a sweeper lens. Whenever you swap out your trinket for a lens, it automatically puts it on cooldown, so try and use the ward to help provide vision to one of your lanes before exchanging your trinket. Use your sweeper lens on common enemy ward placements like top tri-bush or river bush, middle lane bushes and island bushes, or bottom tri-bush and river bush, or dragon pit entrance. At level 9, you can upgrade the sweeping lens into an oracle's lens for 250 gold. Once you upgrade this, you can sweep a large area for a longer amount of time, and your cooldown to sweep is down to 75 seconds from 120. Pink wards and red trinkets are great for denying vision, which is more important as you rise in rank. As outer turrets begin to fall and you begin to approach the mid and late game, a jungler can look towards purchasing a sight stone to offensively ward into the enemy jungle or defensively ward your own. A sight stone will boost your team's vision coverage across the map, allowing you to gank a member of the enemy team much easier. A common tactic to set up picks as the game progresses is to ward around the mid lane. Sweep the side lane bushes around mid lane and ward them. Group with your team members in the bush and look to initiate with a crowd control ability as an enemy crosses through the bush or looks to face check. Another great area to set up ganks is to sweep and ward the island bushes near Dragon and Baron Pit. Group with your team in the bush and catch the enemy off guard as they look to ward around objectives and mid lane. With an enemy down, this will allow you to pressure further objectives such as towers, dragons, or Baron, as your team will have the numbers advantage while the enemy respawns. However, if you are ahead, think about placing wards in more aggressive positions in the enemy's jungle. As blue team, if you want to make a pick before you get dragon, place wards in the bush behind the enemy wolves and another in the blue buff crossroads. If you also sweep these areas with your support, you will have complete control of their jungle, as they will have no vision. You can then wait to ambush someone if they come to face check and ward, or you can take dragon for free. If you want to set up a pick for Baron and you are ahead, put wards in the bushes near the enemy's red buff and the raptor bush. If the teams are a little more even, look to put the wards in the mid lane side bushes and the island bushes to get a pick when the enemy rotates to check Baron through the river. Remember to also sweep these areas with your support, as you do not want to be the ones to be ambushed instead. If you can control the map vision here, then you can get a pick on an enemy or take Baron uncontested. Vision is a valuable resource that will help you and every member of your team throughout the game. It will be important as the jungler to utilize vision to create advantages for your team and disadvantages to your enemies.